Morning, everybody. It's Monday. Chat.
Hello, everybody.
The Snorty was first in the house.
Yes, he was.
Andy. All right. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, boss. Morning, chat.
Morning.
Did you message?
Pope, yes, I sent him an email.
He'll show up if he can.
Yeah, I don't.
And if he can't, we shall mock him.
As funny as that sounds, nah. We have Andy Morrow. Hello, Andy. I'm starting my list, and I'm not gonna check it. Boopers and Andy Morrow. So, guys, and Gal, how was your weekend?
Great. Went and saw Fantastic Four for my 60th birthday.
Nice.
Enjoyed it. Good movie.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Not the greatest movie in the world, but not the worst.
The best in the Marvel roster since years.
For a while. I mean, a regular Marvel movie, not, jangling keys flick like Deadpool and Wolverine, yeah. It was extremely good. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. Superman. It wasn't as scatterbrained as Superman, So.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed that about it.
Why I'm getting any negative feedback from like Keith. Mm-hmm. Keith is ultra annoyed that they fudged so much with the classic, Fantastic Four. That they put them in the 60s. This is what bothers him most. Mm-hmm. That they put the Fantastic Four in the 60s, but they gave us the 1990s Fantastic Four, not the 1960s Fantastic Four.
Right.
And I get his grievance.
Mm-hmm.
For guys like me, because I grew up reading that comic. It was the first comic I ever read.
It was the first one I ever read too, Gary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I am not a comic guy like Keith. Mm-hmm. Keith is one of those guys that's very specific. Things have to be a certain way. And he, we both have a great deal of disdain for Kevin Feige. Mm. I don't like him at all. He's a liar. I mean, you remember when he said that Marvel is not going to go woke? He actually promised that. And everybody says, well, it's Victoria Alonso. I'm like, no, it's not.
He's the honcho.
He's the main honcho. Yeah. He's the one who decides. If it went woke while she was there, it's because he allowed it to happen. So, yeah. Kevin Feige, I lost faith in him in 2018, really. I think that makes Red Dawn a remarkable movie is when I think of Jennifer Grey. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm getting back to it. There.
And Patrick Swayze, we think of that classic movie, Dirty Dancing, where they play two star-crossed lovers. And what's ironic is they didn't get along after a bit on this shoot because one, they had to do a love scene that got pulled, thank God. Like there should be no love scenes in this movie.
No, not at all.
And basically Jennifer complained that he was drunk. He smelled of booze. And Well, that's it. The cat killed Anima. I heard it. Everybody heard it.
She did not, but she is in Rocket Kitty mood because we have a thunderstorm coming, and that energizes her every time.
Well, before we get too far from Fantastic Four, I just got to tell you, a real huge impression on me was the launching of the Excelsior. Watching that, I've said a million times that they don't make these movies for me anymore. Well, they made that for me. It brought back all the memories of watching those Apollo launches, man. It was friggin' awesome. Yep. Loved it. Okay, back to Dirty Dancing / Red Dawn /
they're all interconnected because of the cast.
Yeah.
You've got a great cast in this. And amazingly, Charlie Sheen doesn't annoy me. He was young and was still actually good. Yep. And he would also be in another film with Jennifer Grey called Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
And then you have an actor in this movie that would later go on to be in another TV series about the military called Navy SEALs. And that's, of course, Thomas C. Howell, or C. Thomas Howell, sorry, murdered death. And he played the part of one of the main characters' father, who's loosely based on a real Navy SEAL who wrote a series of books, Marchenko. And Thomas C. Howell played Thomas Howell played the part of Clay Spencer, played by Max Therod's dad in the show. And he was a regular. He wasn't like a star on the show, but he was a regular through the series.
Gained a lot of respect for C. Thomas Howell when I found out he was the son of a stuntman. Thought that was very cool.
Was it Mr. Howell?
Yes. Must be Mr. Howell.
Dude.
You know, he did some killer stunts with Gilligan. You know he did.
Hey, bonjour, Christian Delorme, and thank you. $5 super chat. Bonjour, everybody. Quick in and out. Oh, hey, it's not the first time someone's done that to me. No stripper money today. Cheers. Yes, we have Leah Thompson in the film, and of course she's kind of a psycho in the film, but when you understand that she had been assaulted,
PTSD,
and she suffered from horrible PTSD, and let's see. The West Coast has been occupied for decades. Well, that's what one of the things I wanted to say is that this movie is about a fast invasion, but we have had a problem with a different kind of invasion in this country by communists into this country. They've infiltrated every level of our government. They've infiltrated the public school system, because that was one of their goals is, the future of communism is educating children. And they understood that, and they infiltrated our education system in the 60s. It's been going on. When I was a kid going to school, way back in the 1800s, basically we still had old school teachers, but we knew there were some of these teachers infiltrating into the school, slowly and surely, waiting for the others to retire. Where today, I would say a good portion, 60 to 70% of educators are politically left of, we would call far left. I call them far left. But anyway, so the movie's kind of ironic in that way. We didn't need to have a bloody war for this to kind of happen in our country. And when your kids come home and start espousing fucked up shit, that's when I realized I need to bring Zoe home and homeschool her because it was disturbing, some of the shit that I saw. By the way, I saw that somebody has the real hind.
Yeah.
No, that's not the hind. That is not the hind. That is
Yes, it is.
that is the Air Special.
Nope, that's a hind. Hind A.
That looks like the puma.
Nope, it's a hind A. That's the real thing. So you can see how in this movie they really, really make those choppers look like real hinds.
Cool.
There's still some details, especially in the air intakes. As you can see, it's not the same engine. But man, I had to look for it. I said, no. Did they use real hinds? No. I know they didn't. But the makeup on the choppers they used was excellent.
And then there was silence. What's up?
Yes.
That's because something just got thrown at me, and I don't trust anybody
Okay.
on giving me information. I am checking right now because that looks like a fucking puma made by Air Special.
I personally chased down this photo. It's a hind A.
I trust that you posted a photo. That is a photo. I absolutely believe that is a photo.
And you can see. You can see the under the rotor that configuration of the two air intakes and the exhaust, the big exhaust on a side that is typical of a mill helicopter.
I'll be damned.
Oh
it
my
looks
God.
just like the fucking puma.
Battle enhanced Arctic Recon Specialist. Our motto is we eat Navy SEALs for breakfast. Oh my God.
Good one, Snorky. I like that.
Whatever.
If
Come
you
on,
guys
let's
ever watch
see.
the trailer, I had never seen the trailer for this movie. It has a
Really?
scene that is not in the movie in which the soldiers land at a McDonald's. Okay.
Why would they put a scene in the trailer that's not in the movie?
Oh, that
Oh,
happens all the time,
yeah.
Anima. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
They
Wait a
make
minute.
the trailer.
What
they
are you
make the-
talking about?
oh, the trailer of Red Dawn.
And Anima asked why they would put something that isn't in the movie in the trailer. It's because they make the trailer a year before it comes out. And sometimes it ends up on the cutting room floor. You know, whatever they put in. So, yeah.
And just so, because I want to show this, this was proof that what happened to Dale Dye shouldn't have happened. And it really has always upset me that they changed his movie, Firebirds, because they couldn't show what he wrote in the script. And during my interview with Dale, and I know you remember this, I said, well, that's bullshit because they did a fairly good job with Red Dawn, and later a halfway decent job with Rambo 2 when he Rambo 3 when he goes to Afghanistan.
Yes. Oh, and in Rambo 2, Rambo steals a hind. A hind that doesn't look so much as a hind, but it conveys the general idea.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just sort of weird. So this is why I really was skeptical of this image, because I'm looking at that going, that looks a lot like the boxcar style they used in the movie, which they used the Air Special Puma. And here I'll show you. This is the Puma.
Hey, John, good to see you, my friend.
There you go.
See, it's a little different, and you have the wheel. Oh, how could you? The well for the landing gear. That is, it is not protruding.
There is a moment, by the way, that kind of threw me. Like there's an opening or something inside this helicopter, because you see the door gunner get smoked by that fucking RPG when it explodes inside the helicopter, and then he falls out of the middle of the helicopter, not out the other door. He fell to the center, and there are a couple of shots where you see the wheel well in the front where the front wheel rests, and then there's a rectangular area in the center, which I think maybe is where they lower cargo and shit. And we stole one of those in the military. Military stole a Hind helicopter, and they took it. And helicopter pilots were studying this thing, and they realized, oh my God, the Russians are really good salesmen. They sold this as the best fucking combat helicopter. They're like, our helicopters would smoke the shit out of this thing. And it dispelled that not rumor, but the myth around this being such a great helicopter. But Dale Dye, when he wrote Firebirds, the big thing was that you had these two pilots. One, flying an American Firebird versus this Russian Hind pilot. You got these two best combat pilots that were going to go against each other, and that never happened. That's why the movie is such a disappointment. And I know it was a disappointment for Dale, because it made him not want to work with Hollywood anymore for a while. And it was Spielberg that saved the day to really bring him back into Hollywood.
May I?
May you what?
Oh, I want to interject in something before I forget about this movie. In this movie, because you were talking about Dale, Captain Dye. In this movie, we see what happens to you if you don't clear the blaster area.
Yeah.
Back blast area, yeah. Well, one scene as I'm watching, because I haven't seen this in years, and watching with Anima was a lot of fun. And Thomas Howell has that fucking RPG, and he's got the back muzzle of the fucking RPG against the rock. And I'm like, oh no, don't do that.
The other thing is he has the rocket just at the ear of Patrick Swayze.
Oh my God, there are so many moments in this film. My favorite is when that one kid that survives at the end, he fires an RPG next to a barn or something. He's right up next to it. He fires that thing, and the fucking RPG blows his fucking hat off. And I'm like, that's why you clear and don't. You don't want to be too close to some things, because you're gonna get blasted with that shit. He was too close to that fucking wall. I got to tell you, man, I so thoroughly love this movie. And I'm going to give you some great information on this thing, too, because a lot of people don't know that one of the senior advisors for this film was none other than Alexander Haig. And
wow, really?
But if you go to read this information over on Red Dawn Wikipedia, oh boy, you can tell that was written by a leftist that hated Alexander Haig. Let me get to that, because it's funny as hell. This originally started as a script called 10, as in the number 10 soldiers, not 10 soldiers. And it was written by Kevin Reynolds. He was a producer or close friends with producer Barry Beckerman. And that guy really liked this script. And Peter Bart, who worked on the film as well as a producer, said that he thought it had the potential to become a tough, taut art picture made on a modest budget that could possibly break out to find a wider audience, end quote. And of course, Beckerman's dad, Sidney Beckerman, also a Hollywood producer, helped pay a $5,000 option. And Reynolds wanted to direct the movie himself and wanted someone more established. Beckerman wanted somebody more established in the industry. And so he sought out a great fucking writer-director that I love, Walter Hill. And he ended up just kind of walking away from turning it down. I'm not interested. And the reason why, and I guarantee you the reason why, is because they were giving him a tough time about rewriting the script. Because the original script was an anti-war screenplay. And a lot of good directors will go, well, look, the best anti-war film you can make is an honest war film. But he wanted to make it about people that aren't happy, they're dissatisfied, and the conflict is less about what they're fighting and more about them fighting internally in the group. And it's just, I wouldn't watch that fucking movie. I wouldn't. I would find that boring as shit. Internal conflict could be exhausting, having dealt with it my whole life. So I'm glad that Walter Hill balked on it, because that led them to push even further into MGM. And they went to David Beagleman, who at the time was one of the heads of MGM. And by the way, would later go to prison for embezzlement. I don't think from MGM, but from one of the companies he headed. And basically, he turned them down outright. He was like, I don't like this screenplay. He goes, this is not something that's going to make us money, the way it was written at the time. So they then went to Frank Yablans, and this is a name that you guys should know. Yablans is an established guy in Hollywood, and he's been a film producer and a screenwriter for Paramount Pictures. And he was involved with Love Story.
Say his name again, buddy.
Frank Yablans.
Okay.
And it's Yablans.
Yeah, I thought it was pronounced.
He was involved with.
That's what
it could be. Look, man, tomato.
I got you. That's what threw me off. I was like, that sounds familiar.
He worked for one of the greatest studio execs of all time, and got to work directly on films like The Godfather 2. Really out there. This guy was good. And he got brought into the project. And at the time, he was senior vice president of productions with Peter Bart, who remembers he said something. It's a sharply written anti-war movie, sort of like Lord of the Flies. And that's when Yablans took on the project. And what's even better is there was this attachment that Reynolds, the writer of the screenplay, it was basically an understudy for Spielberg coming into the 80s. And he's going to be making a little film that will star Kevin Costner. And you think, oh, wow, well, he's really getting in there, man. He's making a film and Spielberg's producing it. It's got to be good. And of course, that movie was Fandango, which is not a very good film. It's, again, another anti-war film. And I get so tired of these fucking lefties doing that shit. And at this point, things aren't moving, and a little thing happens called John Milius. Now, you guys know, those of you who have been around for a while watching the show, I adore John Milius. John Milius is part of the Lucas Spielberg group, man. He friends with all of them, worked with all of them. And he, as what's his name? Francis Ford Coppola said, when he was asked, like, what were your best lines in the film? And he goes, you know, all your favorite lines from Apocalypse Now that everybody likes to quote? No, yeah. And he goes, they were all written by John Milius. That's who John Milius is. But this, I mean, if you go to Wikipedia, I swear to God, it hates John Milius and it hates Alexander Haig. I swear to God, it's here. Let me just show it to you, which is why, you know, I'm hesitant to read some of the shit up here, but I'm going to read verbatim once they get to Alexander Haig, and then you see in the way that they phrase things how anti-Alexander Haig they are. So let's get going on this. So sorry, I lost my place. Bart says most of MGM's executives, except for Yablans, were opposed to Milius directing. Bart claims he made a last-minute attempt to get Reynolds to direct the film and went to Steven Spielberg himself. However, by this stage, Fandango was in its first rough cut, and Bart sensed from Spielberg that he was extremely disappointed with the movie and would not speak positively of Reynolds. So immediately, Milius was signed to direct at a fee of $1.25 million, plus, of course, the gun of his choice, because that was one of the things he wanted guns. And he liked getting paid with money, but he liked getting paid with guns too. So Bart recalls at one point that things changed when the chieftains at MGM got a better idea. Right there, I'm like, that's an odd way to phrase something. So this is clearly somebody with a fucking political slant when they say shit like that. MGM got a better idea. I can tell, I can hear the snottiness in his voice. And he continued, said, instead of making a poignant little anti-war film, see what I mean? This guy sounds like a complete prick. Why not make a teen Rambo? There was no Rambo. There's First Blood.
Yeah.
But they thought that was going to be it. So anyway, and turned the project over to John Milius, a genial filmmaker. Who the fuck talks like that about John Milius? Even Lucas and Spielberg don't speak of him like that. A genial. That's just saying, oh, he's a very nice filmmaker.
I don't know that word.
I didn't know it until he read it to me yesterday, because
have you ever
he was
heard
ranting just like this.
Have you heard of Congenial?
No.
Look it up. It's Genial. Okay, so it means friendly.
Yeah, that's all it means.
That's all it means. So, who loved war movies? A genial filmmaker who loved war movies. That's not a polite thing to say about somebody. The idea was especially popular. This guy fucking wrote Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Fucking genial director who liked.
Hello, Connie.
Right.
I think I might have to ban Gary from Wikipedia. It's not good for his blood pressure.
I tell you, man, I feel like my veins are distending reading this. The idea was especially popular with a member of the MGM board of directors. And here's what he says, quote, end quote. General Alexander Haig, the former Nixon chief of staff, who yearned to supervise. I mean, are you listening to these words that he's using here? Yearned to supervise the film personally and develop a movie career. This guy's a cocksucker. I swear to God. I hope he never got work again. What a piece of crap. This guy was a decorated warrior. He graduated from the U.S. Military Academy, and he served in combat in the Korean War. oh my God, I swear to God, I just fucking hate this guy. He did work under Robert McNamara during the Vietnam War, but I'm certain he probably had issues with McNamara because he was a prick.
Yes,
He was awarded. This guy was awarded the fucking Silver Star with an oak leaf cluster and a Purple Heart for wounds received in combat. That's Alexander Haig. Alexander Haig, who was also in the 80s one of the chiefs of staff under Ronald Reagan and then George Bush. I'm just telling you, man. This guy is fucking annoying me. I would love to punch this guy right in his fucking face. Develop a movie career. What a cocksucker. Oh, I fucking don't like Bart. I do not like this guy, one of the producers. Bart says of MGM's executives, except for Yablans, were opposed to Milius directing, which I said, but because things were going down badly with Fandango with Steven Spielberg, Bart knew there was no chance that they were going to give him the job of directing without a positive push from Spielberg. So immediately, as like I said, Milius was signed for $1.25 million and the gun of his choice. Milius set about rewriting the script, which I think is a great idea because this movie sounds like crap. He and Haig together devised a backstory, which I'm going to tell you, he leaned into Alexander Haig for technical, historical importance of how to write this as a believable story. And they ended up using some of the same ideas from World War II, which we saw. There's the famous incident where I think they're Czechoslovakians. They've made 2 movies about it, where these insurgents fighting against the Yazidis, and they tried to assassinate an officer. They did in the end, but they either got caught or killed during it. But it's a hell of a thing. In fact, Kieran Hines, or not Kieran, what's his name? That played the Scarecrow in Batman Begins.
Oh, Cillian
Murphy. Yeah. He did a version of this story too. Go look up his World War II movie, and that's the movie. And the original film made back in the 60s was really good. It was like 60, 61. But even though I think that's a better film than the one that Cillian was in, it's more accurate. The Cillian movie is more accurate to what happened and how in the order that it happened. And it's a very good film. And basically, that's what Alexander Haig brought to the table, is his historical knowledge. And they even went to one of the plans of good old Adolf, because he did plan to invade the United States. And they used that plan by Adolf as part of the premise for this story. And of course, the movie skates over a few things because you have to skate over them. And one of the most horrifying things to everyone who hates the United States, that would love to come here and kill, they are afraid of the fact that so many Americans are armed.
Oh, yeah. Well, which Japanese general told the emperor there's no way we could take the ground because there'd be a gun behind every blade of grass during World War II?
Yeah, that's right. And that was what's his name? Yamamoto. Mm-hmm. That said that. And
it's true.
But anyway, so Milius set out to rewrite the script. He and Haig devised a backstory in which circumstances of the invasion would occur. This was, of course, reported back to be based on Adolf's proposed plans to invade the USA during World War II. Haig then took Milius under his wing, bringing him to the Hudson Institute, which is a conservative think group or think tank that was founded by Herman Kahn. And he was a fucking astrophysicist, man. to develop a plausible scenario. Milius saw the story as a third world liberation struggle, but in reverse, because it's happening here. Haig introduced Nicaragua and suggested, because that's what we were, Nicaragua was a big problem in the 80s. And we were even dealing with that when I was in with Honduras.
Yeah, a buddy of mine
those
served in
rebels
South
were up
America
in Honduras
for a long time. Yeah.
Well, I told you we went down for temporary duty just because the unit that did the job normally needed a fucking break.
Mm-hmm.
So my unit went down there from the 29th ID, and we went down there to basically just sort of, protect a road crew. That's all we were. Be there for support. And got the hell out of there. I'm like, why would you want to fucking serve in that place? It's fucking hot. It's not only hot, it's also extremely humid because it's subtropical, and it's fucking
heat.
hot. And then, at one point, guys would hyperventilate right when they got there, and because you don't feel like you're breathing air in, because the air outside of you is the exact same temperature as your body with the humidity. And so you feel the heat, but you don't feel the air. And guys would breathe fast and they'd start hyperventilating. It was funny. You have to acclimate to it. Anyway, so basically they thought that you should have countries like Nicaragua involving itself in this story. And that's why this is kind of a massive assault of different countries attacking the United States. So basically in this story, it suggested that NATO has collapsed and a left-wing Mexican government would actually participate in a Soviet invasion, effectively splitting the USA in half. Bart says, quote, even Milius was taken aback by Haig's approach to the project. This is going to end up as a jingoistic flag-waving movie, Milius fretted. I call bullshit on that. Because that doesn't sound like anything that John Milius would ever fucking say. But I do believe that his concern was we didn't want to turn this into a John Wayne movie. Because even though he was a big fan of John Wayne, he understood propaganda. And we had propaganda movies made during the war, World War II.
Oh, yeah.
So
the Green Berets was nothing but a propaganda movie.
Well, that was John Wayne trying to make a World War II movie for the Vietnam War. And it did well financially, but it was really panned by, liberal critics.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Liberals not liking John Wayne.
Yeah, right.
Bart says even Milius was taken aback by this, which I bet you that's not totally true. But other changes included a shift in focus from conflict within the group, which was a bad idea, to conflict between the teens and their oppressors, and the acceleration of the ages of some of the characters from early teens to high school age and beyond. There was also the addition of a sequence where some children visit a camp to find their parents had been brainwashed, because they show communist re-education camps. These people's around the clock films are being played on the big drive-in screen.
Right. Yeah. That's the scene with Harry Dean Stanton. He plays their father. And
Stanton is in two scenes. Mm-hmm. And like always, he fucking owns the scenes he's in.
He does.
That guy is just, he's lost awesome. Him. And I miss that guy. The last thing I saw him in was the second Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Do you mean the Avengers?
Was he? I don't know.
It was the Avengers. When he fell down to Earth and
when he fell to Earth, he's the security guard.
Yeah.
That's the Avengers. That scene.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And everything goes back to that one. The one character in science fiction history, one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made, Alien.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Brett.
Yes.
And he's always got a toothpick or match in his mouth. I couldn't figure out which one it was. Or sometimes maybe a joint. I don't know.
Right.
No telling with that guy.
Milius later said that, quote, I see this as an anti-war movie in the sense that if both sides could see this, maybe it wouldn't have happened. That's an honest war film. When he said that, I think it would be a good for Americans to see what a war maybe would be like here. The film isn't even that violent. The war movies, the war shows none of the horrors that could happen in World War III. In fact, everything that happened in this movie happened in World War II. Because, like I said, that was the inspiration for this. Bart says, because they don't even mention the insurgency that inspired these characters. And anyway, Bart says Yablin's pushed through filming faster than Milius wanted because MGM needed a movie over the summer. And Milius wanted more time to plan, including devising futuristic weapons and to not shoot over winter. But they had to speed up the process against his will. The Department of Defense was originally involved, and they had agreed to provide assistance to the production on the basis that, quote, would have a positive impact and benefit to the military services and its national interests, end quote. Although the Air Force objected to the language used by one of the pilot characters, Powers Booth's character, Milius ultimately decided not to cooperate with the Department of Defense because, I'll tell you why, it's going to double your fucking budget again. And this film went from like a $6 million movie to a $19 million movie at this point. And you bring in the Department of Defense, guess what? That's going to about 20 to 30 million. If it like overnight, and possibly even more, dealing with the Department of Defense, because they demand changes, and you better make them or they'll pull out.
Yep.
So Milius wanted Robert Blake originally to play the part of the U.S. pilot, but Frank Yablans overruled him, and Powers Booth was selected instead. I am so glad that happened.
Me too.
Blake was wrong for that part. He's a different kind of method actor. He went to the Marlon Brando School of Method Acting, same teachers. Yeah. And he would have really altered that performance.
I think he'd have been too hard. I don't think he would have shown the empathy that this character
the empathy, and he would also have really pushed the torn aspect of the character.
Right.
Powers Booth played it straight. Mm-hmm. He was against the war, but he saw what these kids were doing, and he understood why.
Yeah, and he knew he wasn't going to be able to stop him from doing it. So he said,
and it altered him.
Yeah,
it altered him as a character, and he began doing it. Now, there are some other things that happened in this film. There are actually 2 love scenes in this film that never saw the light of day, and I say, thank fucking God for that.
Oh yeah, that would have been weird.
There was a sleeping bag scene between Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. This is where you heard of the bad blood between Jennifer Grey and him got started, because he was drinking. Patrick was at the time. And so he stunk of booze and he was drunk in that scene, and it pissed her off, and she complained about it, which everybody thought was funny because she was high all the time while making the movie. And they're like, that's kind of ironic, the pot calling the kettle black.
Right.
You know?
Hello.
So, and then another love scene, which I'm so glad, because they did a test screening of it and people were bothered by it. And that's the love scene between, who was it? Leah Thompson, that had kept following Powers Booth's character around all the time.
It was Leah.
There was a fuck scene between those two, and I'm so glad they pulled away from that, because
pedophilia.
It felt more without that, like he's almost like a big brother or dad to her, because clearly she's lost her family. That's why she's all fucked up. Part of the reason why she's all fucked up. And she did. She liked him, but she would ask him questions about his wife. What was she like? How did you guys fall in love? I loved that. And he would talk about it with her. Also, he's trying to rough around with these fucking kids, and they're playing fucking football. And it's not flag football. It's not touch football. They're fucking tackling without pads. And they knocked the shit out of Powers Booth's character. He's like, man, I'm going to be Danny Glover here and say I'm too old for this shit.
Right.
I fucking love that. And but going back to it, the filming of this was shot around the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Many of the buildings and structures which appear in the movie, including a historic Fred Harvey Company hotel adjacent to the train depot and the train yard, and a building near downtown, because that's where some of the combat takes place there at the train yard, train depot, and building near downtown, which was repainted with the name Calumet, Colorado, referencing, of course, the town Calumet, Michigan, are still there to this day. The murals, everything, it's all still there. They're proud of that shit. And they ended up buying an old Safeway grocery store and converted it into a sound stage, and they used it in several scenes of the film. Powers Booth later claimed that, quote, Milius cut out the emotional life of his character. Originally, my character was anti-war as well as a rightist. And I'm like, that's kind of odd. But okay. I was supposed to be the voice of reason in that movie, but certain cuts negated my character, end quote. Leah Thompson said the original cut featured a love scene between her and Powers Booth, but, quote, was cut out after some previews because of their age difference. And it's creepy. I'm sorry, it is. It's fucking creepy.
Would have been
that.
Creepy. You damn straight it would have been.
But she felt it was a terrific scene. I'm like, whatever. And here we go. I'll get to this part. This is great. Jennifer Grey stated that their scene was cut and abandoned because Patrick Swayze was drunk and couldn't remember his lines while filming. Well, what's his lines? Hump. Anyway, is it in? While Grey was high on marijuana, stating, quote, and then it got cut and they said, well, come back and we'll reshoot it later. But of course, they didn't. Her negative interaction with Swayze made her anxious about working with him again in Dirty Dancing. And of course, she also would work in another film very soon with the other star of the film, Charlie Sheen, when they actually kind of fall in love in the movie called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There were scenes filmed at and around a McDonald's there in Las Vegas, Mexico. And at least one picture of Soviet officers around the restaurant does exist. However, the scenes were cut before the movie was finished, and this is reportedly due to the fact that that shooting that took place at McDonald's less than a month before the movie's release. So they just cut it out of the film last minute. So the Soviet Mi-24 Hind A helicopter gunships were mocked up and built around the French SA-330 Pumas made by Air Spéciale, and deemed sufficiently accurate in the portrayal of the iconic Eastern Bloc attack helicopter troop transport gunships. Some of the weaponry devised for the film did not work. And once again, this falls under the stuff that Milius wanted to have more futuristic weapons in the movie. And one of them was more futuristically mocked up helicopters. However, they were not approved by the FAA for flying over people. So they got cut from the movie. So as I said, when they started the film, I believe it was 6 million first time. They say it's 11. It went from 11 to 15 million, and ultimately to 19 million.
Guys, I hate to interrupt, but I've got to go. Got to go get Mama Joe. So you guys be good. Enjoy.
You too, buddy. I'll see you later, brother.
Dawn is wholly unbelievable, but it is a great movie. It would never happen in a million years, but it is a great movie. If it did happen, it'd probably go down just the same way it does in this film. Anyway, you guys
but quicker.
Good. Yeah,
too,
quicker.
buddy.
Yeah, it wouldn't take as long. Yep. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Because what they show is a lack of military involvement. And I'm telling you, every state has their own National Guard. They have their own Army Reserve. They also have Marine Reserve units. And I'm telling you, they would have been embedded with these kids. You would have seen a lot more interaction with these kids over time with the military, because they would find out about them and then they would immediately try to find ways to communicate with them. I like this scene a lot. I do like this. They pull up before this national forest, Arapaho National Forest, protected by Teddy Roosevelt. And Roosevelt did more for land protection in the United States than all presidents combined after him.
I like this scene.
They're like, hey, look at this. Let me read this in Russian. So he does. And they're like, just have sightseeing.
But
and
one of them obviously never has left Russia, because he looks at the sign and says, what kind of writing is this? And then his dude is like, yeah, let me read it to you. And he translates the whole thing.
No, I like I find annoying. It's good in the movie, but the attitude, because I've seen it on people, the bullshitter soldier that said, oh, yes, I can read English. And he just made up everything that he says.
He did mention Teddy Roosevelt, though. And
because there are the numbers and the names is the only thing that he can say. But it's a bullshitter.
They are just fooling around. They're taking photos.
I want to get to this. Please hold on. The setup of this scene, anybody who knows movies and knows writing, even when I went to see this in the theater, I'm like, oh, these guys are about to die. Because they're all out by themselves. And the story is about the Wolverines. And they are going to get the shit killed out of them. And it's a tough scene because they do get smoked. But the last guy, he's sitting in that car. That made me feel bad. Because he basically executes that guy.
And the guy makes it easier for him by not looking at him. He turns
turns and looks away because he's like, you're going to do this eventually, and I don't want you to fuck it up. So I'm going to look the other way so you will be able to, kill me cleanly. And that's a turning point for Swayze's character, to point blank have to shoot a man. And where are they going to take him prisoner? They don't have the resources for that shit at this point. So, but I also want to talk about something else that's great about this movie.
Wait.
Keith and I are very proud of the fact that the composer of this movie is from right here. Even though when you hear his name, you wouldn't know that. His name is Basil Polidoros. And he is so Greek. He sounds like he's from Greece. Nope, right here in Missouri. He's a Missouri boy.
Hey, wait, I sent you an invite. Check your DMs.
Who? What?
Real Wade.
Oh, Wade.
Hello, Classic Comics.
And I saw Penny earlier.
Absolutely. Right? Yes, I swung by to say hi to him last night on his stream.
So you guys know I like to get...
Hello?
I like to get funny goofs about movies that we watch, if there are any. And with this one of the soldiers in the beginning that jumped from the planes, he got blown off so far off course and stuck in a tree. He was so far away from any movie set that he had to convince local people to help him and that he's not a foreign soldier. I found it funny.
What's up, Gary?
Hi, Wade. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Wade.
Like, no, I'm not Russian.
I didn't realize you were doing it today. My favorite movie of all time, and I hate the remake. Officially hate the remake.
There is no remake.
Why?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why would they make a remake of this? It doesn't need one.
So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I was talking about the score by Basil Polidoros, and one of the greatest composers. He, of course, did Conan the Barbarian theme. He performed with the Hollywood Studio Symphony Orchestra. It was the first soundtrack to ever be released on LP and compact disc by Entrada Records. The label issued the complete score in 2007. The movie was the 20th highest grossing film of '84, opening on August 10th, 1984, in 1,822 theaters and taking in $8.23 million the first weekend. Its box office gross was $38.3 million. Technically, that should round up to $38.4 million. So it did fairly well in the theater, and I do believe that was the global money
That's what I found,
did
yeah.
that make.
Did it?
Total box office.
So it wasn't a flop, technically.
No, it was not a flop. No. It's $19 million budget, and they made $38 million on it.
Oh,
At that time, that was successful.
I still don't get. I mean, perfect example is when they remade it. I'm like, oh, cool, it'll be good. And I went to go see it in theaters. I'm like, this is a waste of my time.
Yeah,
the remake. I'll watch this over and over.
One, I'm not a big fan of remakes, unless it's remaking a movie that wasn't good, and then they make it better. So, but when you take a movie that was already loved and then remake it for a modern audience, I'm already out. I'm checked out. Not interested.
Yeah. My only worry is, do you hear they're supposedly gonna remake Last Starfighter? Gary?
Good luck.
I don't. I'll believe it when they start shooting. When production starts, that's when I'll buy that story. So this is something similar to what the Germans did, the Ethel Mermans did during World War II to try to stop insurgents, and it backfired on them. They would, capture people or take their families and execute them in the streets over and over again. And what it ended up doing is fueling the hatred towards them. That's all that did. And it eventually led to the downfall in those countries.
Yeah, that's why you have the Cuban officer telling that to the Russian officers, stop doing this. This only fuels them.
Makes them want to kill you even more and fight you even harder. So it's just right out of World War II, I think that they did a fairly good job. The problem is, of course, logistically, this story would never happen. The only thing they would have invaded was Florida, Louisiana, and Texas, and they would have got smoked the first fucking week.
Wait, not even California?
Well, they have them in Colorado in the story. It's supposed to be in Colorado. I'm like, yeah, they would not get up that far. So some of them came down through Canada. If you pay attention to the discussions going on within the film, you learn that basically the Russians came down through Canada and to meet up at a picture point. But look, man, I'm telling you, the U.S. military, even in the 80s, was fucking massive. And there was no fucking way. And we would care less if NATO collapsed. It's like when it comes to protecting the United States, we're already hearing the fact that they want to pull out of NATO now because NATO keeps doing stupid shit. One of the stupid things they keep doing is breaking the deal with Warsaw. We made a deal that we would not get within one country of the border, and they just keep doing it. Ukraine's one of them.
Oh,
and so they get pissed. Yeah, Russia gets angry, and by God, there was an agreement made, and they keep reneging on that agreement. Europe, NATO, fuck NATO. God damn, they're fucking assholes.
In fact, this is a question, Gary. Wasn't part of the according for the dissolution of the USSR that NATO was going to be disbanded too?
There was discussion of that because the existence of NATO was because of
the USSR. Yeah.
But now they weren't the Soviet Republic; they were now just Russia. But I tell people all the time, the guys who headed up and ran the KGB and a lot of the commanders from the military brought a lot of their soldiers and agents, and they became what we know now as modern Russian mafia. And so they're still doing the same thing over there. They're just doing it for personal
Wait, is that true?
profit.
Gary, that Russia tried to join NATO for some reason?
No,
Why
they
was
had
that?
the Warsaw Pact.
Oh.
We had the Warsaw Pact, which is the thing I was just talking about. And basically, I don't recall them ever wanting to be part of NATO, but I'm sure that diplomats were talking, but that never was going to happen.
No.
Never. They had zero interest in that, the Soviet Union. And afterward, Russia had zero interest because they understood that they had a lot of natural gas.
That's
And
what I
they
thought.
saw their future of being the supplier of natural gas to Europe. And this is why basically Europe made NATO pointless. And NATO is not necessary anymore. It's just really stupid having it around. And we keep putting money into it and we need to stop. It's just not worth it. I love that they tag everything with their school name, the Wolverines.
Even
in
the
this movie.
slideshow. That was great.
Oh my God, yeah. There's a slide.
The Crash movie night.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it
Yeah.
in like a hot minute, but I remember briefly. But yeah, whenever flipping through on Hulu or whatever, I go what I was like, I see it. I'm like, oh, I know what I'm watching. I mean, I don't watch it every time I see it, but you know,
Yeah.
it's a good
Now-
one.
Here's another moment. If you understand the structure of a scene, that the minute this scene, the way it was shot, you knew that building behind them they kept focusing on was going to blow up. The establishment of a guy standing outside the door, like, hey, girls, you go, you're going to go find your friends, bring your friends back? Yeah.
Also,
It's like,
why would that
I
girl
see that
go
guy
in
and I'm
there?
like, he's about to die. He is about to
Why
die.
would
That girl is
she
dangerous.
planted a bomb? Yeah.
We already know that she's dangerous, a little psycho. So this whole scene was, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, because you get to see the dynamic differences between this Cuban officer, 2-star general, and this fucking piece of shit commie prick on the right, Soviet.
I mean, all I can say is the commie is more like understandable compared to the remake. If you're going to compare the two,
Again, you keep bringing up the remake. I've never seen it, and I don't
I
want to
know
see
I've
it.
seen them both, and I'm like,
It doesn't exist in here, Wade. So stop talking about it.
okay, I was just trying to make a comparison. Okay,
Don't. Just love this movie. There was a
Okay.
lot of people. There was a lot of reaching out guys with what existed for the former Soviet Union. But the fact is the governing body of Russia was not going to let go of that control, and it was never going to happen with joining NATO, ever. Why? NATO doesn't even need to exist. It only exists because of the Soviet Union. By the way, that ring, anybody know what that ring is?
no,
Nope.
They showed a smoke ring there. Let me go back and show it.
oh, is that
Oh,
from
the plane going down?
Supersonic or whatever they call it?
No.
What?
First of all, we see jet trails, establishing that jets have been flying over, probably fighting. And then she looks up and sees something else, very specific. That.
What?
I have no idea what that
A
is.
smoke ring going upward. What would cause
Oh,
that?
smoke signal.
God damn it! Tell it. Say it already.
I don't know.
It's caused by ejection.
Really?
Of what?
American?
Of the pilot.
The pilot
Ejecting out of his plane.
Oh.
I didn't know it causes that.
I didn't know that.
Not all of them do, but some of the old one fly-by-wire jets had that system that would blow a smoke ring when it fires straight upward when they eject out. And so she went looking for a pilot, and she found one.
Oh, is that when they meet?
Well,
Is that when they meet the American?
Yeah, Powers Booth. He's a flight officer.
Okay, I was like, I've seen it, but I forget how far we're into the movie, to be honest. If I'm not watching it right away. But
now, Powers Booth, one of my favorite actors of all time, is actually from Texas. He's a Texas boy. He's from Snyder, Texas, man.
He was
and that's a real Texas drawl that he has.
Wasn't he in another? He's a bomber pilot in a movie. I can't think of what movie it's called.
I don't know.
Here, I'll look it up. Give me a second.
Do you want to get into how it's weird that they left out why he didn't go to his union? Why he's out there alone?
Because he was anti-war. He didn't want to fight anymore. And
he's basically a deserter at this point.
Technically. Because he's not trying to go back to the rear and find his people.
Oh.
And,
by the way, Sander has been asking for this for a while now. I'm sorry, Sander. We haven't had a window, but now we do. Let me find it for you. We can.
I've got 5 terrorists going southeast on Bakalakadaka Street.
That's it. You use it.
Oh, man. So you've actually got some really solid actors in this movie in small parts. You got Frank Frey in this movie. You've got Harry Dean Stanton, of course. You've got probably one of a friend of John Wayne's in this movie, Ben Johnson, known for westerns. And then, of course, you have William Smith, who plays the Spetsnaz commander. He's a general that comes in. And what's amazing is how good his Russian is in this movie. And if you know the history of William Smith, you would know that, oh my God, this guy was a Korean War veteran. And he served in special teams that would go out and capture operatives working with the Koreans that spoke Russian. And
hold on, Gary. Is that on my end, or does Gary sound muffled all of a sudden?
Yes, it sounded a little muffled.
Yeah, I was going to say, but
hello.
I don't want to cut him off.
Now you sound muffled and loud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Booth was in Dawn's Early Light.
Yeah, Dawn's Early Light. I remember that movie. What he was known for at this point was he played the part of Jim Jones, that religious leader who killed everybody at the compound by having them drink and poison Kool-Aid. But and he did it. It's creepy. His portrayal of Jim Jones is really fucking good. But anyway, Powers Booth, good actor from Texas. So he actually really plays up his Texas accent in this. But that's where this whole thing should have been taking place. The southern border of Texas. Because I found it implausible to be Colorado. At least Colorado from back then. Maybe today they could get away with that shit because there's so many transplanted liberals in that state, they've turned it blue. It used to be a hardcore red state.
Used to be better, like so many other states.
So here you go. They actually did something really cool here. This is a planned out assault that they're going to attack them on the road, force them on the ridgeline, but they've mined the ridgeline where the trees are. And so they set off a series of claymores that wounds and or kills most of these soldiers that they haven't already shot. Very smart. And that's when the claymores went off. And you hear the, oh!
I still think they're having it a little bit too easy. Like, don't they have posts on the lookout or something? The kids can just sneak up on them like that.
Well, again, it's what the highest, most unbelievable thing is that their team gets smaller. No, it's bullshit. It would be growing. Plus, like I said, U.S. military would have been in touch with these guys already and embedding special forces in with it. And I told Anima who I'd want if that happened to me when I was younger. I'd want the 75th Ranger Regiment because they're fucking tip of the spear guys. And that's who you went out there helping you kill bad guys. And it's so funny because like later it's like, you know, the Russians are like, why are they trying to kill us, man? Because this is their fucking home, you cocksucker. Mm-hmm. And you killed their fucking families trying to steal it from them. So they're going to fight you and they're going to kill you until you leave.
And possibly afterward.
Possibly on the way out, yeah.
Yeah. So you had to basically turn a blind eye to military supremacy in this, because there's no way the U.S. wouldn't have military supremacy in this. I like also this rock, and that's based off another incident over in Europe, where the names of people in this guerrilla team were getting wiped out, and I do believe some of them were Czechoslovakian Jews or Yugoslavia. It might be Yugoslavian Jews who were part of the resistance. And I gotta tell you, I like this one kid here.
Jews in Yugoslavia.
It's either Czechoslovakia or Yugoslavia. What's his name? Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig and what is his name that played Wolverine's brother?
Yeah,
Liev Schreiber made a movie about the Jewish resistance fighters.
Yes,
it's a really good movie. It's a good movie.
They're the name brothers, right?
Yeah, they're brothers in the story. What was the name of that damn movie?
Oh man,
I'll look it up. Daniel Craig, Liev Schreiber. There we go. Fucking love both those guys in this movie, and I'm not a Daniel Craig fan. Defiance is the name of the movie. Came out in 2008, and it's a really good World War II film. And while I'm in here, let me look at this. Defiance 2008. German occupied Eastern Europe. Doesn't say the country.
That means Czechoslovakia.
Okay, they joined the Russian resistance. So it's Russian resistance fighters and a Belarusian forest. So it's in Belarus. So there you go. It's a film. We should probably do it.
Oh, yes, please
do that. Well, now that you want it, I don't want to do it.
You son of a gun.
Make a note of it.
I wouldn't mind doing it.
It's a very good movie.
That tripped me out when you see that. Oh, let me go back. When you see that jet front end lift off the ground,
I
was like, "Holy shit! Did they do that with cables, or did they really do that with the engines?" I kind of threw me for a second. Like, did they really do that? It's a movie, so I have doubts that they did. Right there, you see the front end lift up on this fighter, this MiG, which looks more like an F-15, which I think it probably was. F-15 always gets picked to play MiGs back in the 80s. Top Gun.
No. That is not an F-15. An F-5 is what you're thinking about. The 15 had square intakes.
F-5. Let me look it up. Oh, it shows me a tornado. Thanks. I guess I better be more specific. Yeah, that's it. It's the F5. I stand corrected on that. Because I got into a fight back in the 80s with this fucking guy. He was in the military, and he was telling me, no, those real MiGs in Top Gun. I'm like, no, they weren't.
No.
And finally, like one night, I came into work with the model from the movie. I bought it, the Revell model kit for Top Gun. And I brought it in, and I said, it's a fucking F5, dickhead. He's, well, it really looks like a MiG. No, it doesn't.
No. That is why I don't like Top Gun. That is the only reason, because I'm a plane nerd, and I was, that is not a MiG.
It's not a MiG. But anyway, it's the closest they could get. Anyway, if they had CG back then, they would have.
Oh,
because a lot of people go, because Tom Cruise and all those saying there's no CG in this movie. That's a lie.
Yes, it is.
And here's how they did CG for that movie. The planes that you see in the movie are not the planes they were flying. They're dressed later to be the fighters you see in the movie.
Yes.
That is not the actual jets they're in. And that's wonderful, because the lighting on them was very real. And it's one of the first times I've ever seen real white lighting on, from the sun on fighters to where it looked believable. And that's why they got away with that lie. But it is a lie. So you keep pausing this. What's going on here?
No, I didn't pause it.
It's paused again. I didn't pause it.
Anima?
So I love the fact that Powers Booth looks over at the fighter pilot. The Powers Booth looks at the fighter pilot inside the cockpit, holds the hand grenade up, pulls the pin, and then puts up his gloved hand like that to him. Fuck you. And throws it into the. It looks like he threw it into the intake. I don't know.
No, behind his seat. And I like the look on the pilot is, oh, well, I'm fucked. He doesn't even try to get out. He says, I'm fucked.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I don't know. I find it funny when I'm playing Call of Duty and we're doing clan matches. And you'll hear me, because I'm always pushing forward, hugging the wall and pushing forward. And then I make eye contact with something. I go, oh, guys in East Window. Yeah, I'm dead. I wasn't dead yet when I said I went, no, I'm dead. Because there's no way I'm getting out of here alive. And you have that, like, resigned. You just become extremely resigned, like, oh, fuck it, this is going to happen. And I've seen guys do that in real life. Go, I've done it myself in some of those hairy moments of my own life where I'm like, I let out a chuckle twice. Oh, man, in a fucked up way, I'm going to die here. Man, they love their football team, dude. This is a great scene where you get to see them with Ben. There he is. There's Ben. Great actor right there. So many fucking Westerns. Ben Johnson. He's a former rodeo star like Slim Pickens. He was a real cowboy. I thought Patrick Swayze did a really fucking good job in this character. And maybe to get into that mode is why he drank so much during the shooting. I don't know. I've never read anything about him having a problem with drinking before, but I don't know everything about the guy. I always liked him. Uh-oh. There you go, Ariel. Well, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
Well, I read that his drinking caused his cancer that he died from.
Oh.
That is awful. I didn't know that.
Pancreatic cancer.
Oh, that's true.
That is a bitch.
Yeah, that's a death sentence.
I love the way C. Thomas Howell's character always keeps account of how many RPGs he has left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're not finding more, you're fighting the Russians. And that's one of my biggest gripes to this movie. They smoke these fucking guys and then take off running into the woods. I'm like, collect ammo, collect weapons. What the fuck? That annoyed the shit out of me, and I'm surprised Milius didn't have him do that.
Yeah, especially
Now-
when they themselves are using AKs.
You see their outfits change, so they do acquire supplies eventually.
They clearly do, but
Yeah.
then they show them running around, just running away from weapons when they didn't have to run yet.
They never show them collecting weapons or ammo. Yeah, I agree. That
And that
irritates me.
annoyed the crap out of me. And
Who's
by the way,
military advisor on this? Did they have one?
well, Alexander Haig was part of it,
Hmm.
and they had that think tank. I loved this scene a lot because getting caught underneath that cannon going off on that tank freaks that dude out. He loses his shit because it's so fucking loud right over their head. And that, of course, is I think that's the M48 Patton dressed up to look like a Cuban or Russian tank. And it's a very realistic battle here, way off in the distance from each other. Again, based on shit we saw in World War II, because that's how the shit happened in especially in North Africa. And let me share something with you guys. Share image. There it is. Can you add that to the screen real quick?
Yes. Let me pause the video. Remove. They made it so difficult to share this sharing
I
thing now.
know.
Oh, Homefront. Yeah.
I own this game. I love this game. I so thoroughly, because it's basically the same premise, but years later. And by the way,
It's
Wolverines all over that fucking game. In fact, the shopping center is based on.
Milius was involved with the making of this game.
I'm getting there, buddy. I'm getting there.
Oh.
And you had like all these buildings from the movie in the fucking game, and the sign at football billboard, you know, the Wolverines. And I'm like, man, these guys must have been fans of that movie. And I looked in the credits on this thing, and I'm like, fucking John Milius is the guy behind this game. They brought him in to do this, and basically, this is kind of a quasi remake worthy of fucking watching. This game is.
Let me tell you, this is a good game. It has been so much maligned, and it was a flop on sales, but I don't know why. I even have the second one,
game.
Homefront. Oh my god, I forgot the subtitle. Well, it's not a second part. I think it's a remake of the game.
The multiplayer component of Homefront is focused on large-scale vehicle-based combat, reminiscent of Chaos Studios' first title, Frontlines Fuel of War. The defining innovation of Homefront's multiplayer is its battle point system. And playing live on this, oh my god, I fucking love this game so much. But sadly, you know, Call of Duty kind of smothered it. And mostly it's forgotten today. But I fucking love this game. And Homefront, what a great one. And John Milius, of course, was the guy that helped them make this game believable. And they added a lot of stuff from this movie to, and I don't think it was him. I think it was something they wanted to do.
Oh man, this part. No, it's a Korean invasion. Adel, you were right.
Yes, it was Korean and Chinese, as I recall. It's both, isn't it? They did the exact same premise, but with the Chinese, and China banned this game.
Of course they did.
No, they wouldn't.
And of course, the makers of the game went, "Oh, that's sad. Sorry, we don't care." Most of their sales are in Western Europe and the United States and Japan. Japan, those guys are just like us, and a lot of the Japanese love America. They love Americans. That's why I've always wanted to go to Japan,
They
because
love everything Western.
they do. They love it. They have their own version of Christmas in Japan, including Father Christmas, but they have no idea what any of it means. But they love
just
it.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
There are trucks over there, because I worked for TruckNet for years, like almost 10 years. I worked for that company, and I dealt directly with the trucking industry with what I did. And so I found out about the Japanese and their fucking trucks, how they decorate them with lighting systems. And it looks like a fucking roadster, like some street gangster with their fucking lit up undersides and shit like that. That's the Japanese with fucking big rigs. I shit you not. Look it up. That stuff is redonkulous. And they love Christmas, man. They have no idea who Santa Claus is. They have no idea who Jesus is for most part. They just fucking love Christmas.
I think by now they know. There's enough movies and stuff.
And of course, they're mourning the death of Powers Booth's character. And of course, she, I think that the way it shows in the film, it gives more of a daughter to a father love. But in reality, she was in love with his character, and she
No.
She tells
had
him
a massive crush on him.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
But yeah, this is the first time they lose someone and realize this is not like a game or something.
Oh my God, that really hits home later when they learn one of their own has turned them in and has a tracker.
Involuntarily, but because they forced him to swallow the tracker. Should have had laxatives with him.
Or, and there he is. There's William Smith. Most of you know him as the father of Conan the Barbarian in the Arnold Schwarzenegger from Conan the Barbarian. What is the riddle of steel? That's William Smith. He was a fucking badass bodybuilder, athlete. He was also a combat veteran. And even more scary than that, he was fluent in 3 different languages other than English. And he spoke fluent Russian. And that's why when he delivers his dialogue in Russian, it sounds so fucking perfect. Because he's fluent in Russian. And he served the United States military in combat. And then he was part of raiding teams to go out and capture enemy soldiers to field interrogate and to bring them back to interrogate. Field interrogations are scary because anything can happen. That's where you hear stories of, hot knives, stabbing, poking, shooting in the legs and shit, torturing. He joined the military in 1951. Oh, William? Oh, cool. Check out that Cuban officer, man. Indoors with the fucking sunglasses on.
Because he's cool.
I'm cool like that.
Yeah.
Now, you said he didn't say impotence. What did you say he said there?
He didn't say impotence. He used the word for weakness. Because it's the same
interesting that they would change
Slavost. Slavost just means weakness. And they changed it to impotence, I guess, to make it more dramatic or something. I don't know. I caught a couple of things where they didn't translate correctly. I mean, sort of, but changed a word or two. Because a lot of Russian words are quite similar to Croatian. So
one of the things I found interesting with this film and that his character is when they show him walking with those boots on, he looks like he is very uncomfortable walking in those boots.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just something that he did or if really they were uncomfortable.
Maybe they couldn't get him shoes his size, or he was injured on his foot or something, and they just didn't bother.
This is a good scene until that guy jumps right in front of the dude laying down suppressing fire. and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Situational awareness. Know where your fucking gunners are so you don't get shot. And we see he gets hit there. Yeah. And this really feels like the Ardennes during World War II, where I heard one of the vets talking the other day from World War II told this story. He says, we're sitting there in a small group huddled together, and this guy's sitting with us, and he's enjoying a cigarette with us. And after a few moments, he gets up and leaves. And they realize, oh my God, that was a fucking German. The German just came up and sat with them. They were so close that he just walked over and fucking sat with these guys with Easy Company and smoked a cigarette with them and then got up and left. Didn't do anything, didn't look for intel. He was just there because he just wanted a quiet moment and smoke with some people. I thought that was great. And that soldier just sort of laughed. He goes, we just sort of laughed about it. He came over and just wanted to have a cigarette with us. The cost of war.
Mm.
This is where it takes on such a dark tone. Like this kid here is just aiming his weapon at him and he's telling him, hey, it's over, man. It's over. And he just stands there staring at him. And you start seeing the underlying fucking loathing of the Russians in this film, because the Russians are the one who are financing this. And boy, oh boy, that kid didn't want to take his weapon off that guy. He wanted to kill him. And Patrick Swayze's like, hey man, your weapon's not going to work. It's locked open. He tells him like 3 times. It's like, he's not hearing you, dude. He's not there anymore. Yeah, and they do bring that up in this movie. They bring up the war in Afghanistan. And what's funny is the way it gets brought up is how the Russians did it. They made it look, because just like this movie, the Cuban Russians tricked Americans by flying like they were civilian aircraft coming in. And it was actually an assault. They did the exact same thing in Afghanistan and tricked everybody when they invaded Afghanistan. They did the exact same thing. So that was used in this movie for a reason. And I thought that was interesting. Glad you brought that up. Did they ever make a movie about the time where American, French, and Wehrmacht joined? No, dude. That is a movie that needs to be made. If you know your fucking World War II history, that was something else, because the Wehrmacht did not like the SS.
No,
and
not at
what
all.
They learned is that this castle where these foreign dignitaries were at, and French, they had just a slew of all these different dignitaries hiding out in this castle. And word came down that the SS were coming, armor, and they were going to fucking take these people hostage or kill them. And the Wehrmacht went to the Americans and joined the fight against the SS. Real battle.
Hey, Gary, you know what I just realized? They didn't have the Russian / Cuban or whatever. It's totally Stalingrad in a nutshell. With the winter.
Yeah. What also really reminiscent of the Ardennes during World War II, when we got bogged down in that forest and the Germans held their grounds. Here we go. He's got to kill him. He's got to do it, and he can't do it. He can't kill this kid. The kid spied on him, gave their positions away. He betrayed them.
Well,
And
his mistake was
Thomas
getting
Howell,
caught.
You watch C. Thomas Howell slowly walking up, and I said, he's going to fucking pull the trigger.
I would say that of the kids, C. Thomas Howell was my favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This reminds me of a scene from the movie with Chris, the guy that played Thor, where they played the special forces team that went into Afghanistan. And they put a movie about those guys out. Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
It's a good film. Again, my buddy Fahim is in that movie. He plays one of the tribal leaders.
I know that voice.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're all proud of Fahim because he actually has a speaking part in Superman.
Which Superman?
Yeah, he says Superman. He's
current,
chanting with the villagers.
You actually hear his voice. Very distinct voice.
Oh, it was 12 Strong, wasn't it, Gary?
12 Strong. It was originally called the Horse Soldiers or something like that. And they switched it to that title, which I don't think is good. But it's a really good movie. I think it's a solid film.
It's really good.
We talked about that here.
Yep, we did it on here
a while ago. I liked it.
Look what Ariel is saying, Anima.
There you go, Ariel.
Oh my god.
Oh, do you know what she would do to a
Muppet?
If a Muppet would show up here? She would kill the shit out of that thing. Yeah, she said yes.
So you're telling me don't have snow nearby?
What?
Never mind. It's a puppet thing. Another YouTuber.
I just don't like them. I find them
He's
creepy.
talking about Snowdub.
Oh.
I was just trying to make a funny.
I love that guy.
You know.
I love Snowdub. Good dude.
I only know him from when he's on Loki's channel.
I met him a long time ago, separately from Loki. I like the guy. We hung out.
Oh,
we had one of those moments.
Bye, Penny.
From Step Brothers. Bye, Penny. See you later.
Bye,
we had one
Penny.
of those Step Brother moments while we were talking. Like, oh my God, did we just become best friends? Yeah, this scene, I'm automatically like, that's not an accident. Things don't fall out of trucks that way. Someone pushed that out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have touched that.
Right?
I wouldn't either, but
my first idea is that is bait for me to be sniped, or it's poisoned.
Poisoned.
or bomb is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But in the end, they just want to lure the kids out of the cover so they know where they go back to hiding once they gather all the food.
Or it's
And
a
they fall
trap,
for it.
one of the two.
It is a trap. They just want to know where the kids are hiding out. So they let them take their food and then just follow them to their location.
Yeah, something that they stole had a tracker in it. And this is, of course, the end for them.
Or the beginning of it.
No, the end for them. You can say beginning of the end. If you say that, yeah.
Yeah, because
This is
things are
the
beginning
end.
to go down for them. They don't all die. The way you say it is they all get smoked there. That's just not true.
No, the team thing is over. It's over. And at this point, those that do survive, two main characters, Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze, go north, go find civilization. We're going to go cause some trouble. And what they end up doing ends it with that Cuban general.
Oh my God, Daniel.
Let it go. Please.
He's a
So-
ginger too. And she's saying you don't have a soul because you don't like the Muppets.
Wow, so we're having a cat fight? Put it kindly. Never mind.
As we just simply called it in school when it happened. Girl fight!
Or that.
And all the guys are like, okay, what's happening? Are they going to tear their clothes off? It'll be great. A lot of hair pulling, I'll tell you that.
That's the only thing that I hated in school. Like, you have all these movies, like the high school movies, and it never turns out like that. I never saw it like real life, but that's me.
All right, this is the death of Gray's character, Jennifer Gray's character. And he, of course, is doing everything to get her out of there.
But she knows she's dying. And it's brilliant what she does.
She says, shoot me. She wants him to shoot her because she doesn't want to be captured. She says, don't let them do that to me. And he tries to, and he can't do it. So then he does the next best thing, which is she says, give me a grenade. And she takes a grenade, and she's just holding it there on her chest.
Having him pull the pin, then she's just holding it. And in the end,
Hold
she
the pin
puts it
for me.
under her neck to keep...
Right here. And rests her neck and head on it.
Because she...
To keep...
But she wants whoever goes to pick up her dead
Well, it's a
body
booby
to
trap.
check on
She's
her.
booby-trapped her own body.
And it's so
Because we
brilliant.
heard of that, but where in combat they would booby-trap dead bodies. She did it to herself.
To herself, yeah.
Is that so? Would someone really do that in real life, Gary? Like in the military?
Probably. You have a lot of badass people in the military.
I just
no
meant
question.
I just didn't know if it was like a movie fantasy thing or if it would happen in real life. Not that you get what I'm saying, right, Gary?
Yeah. So it is something. Self-deletion occurs in the military, and if you have the opportunity to take somebody out with you, the enemy, you'll do it. Yeah, I think that you're right there, Ariel. I think that the beginning of the end is when they have to execute that one kid. And I think that by the time they're at the rocks, that's the end. This is the final actions of this team. And fucking C. Thomas Howell is going out like a fucking rock star here, standing in front of a fucking rock, opening fire on these guys. He's already done one damage and killed a gunner with the RPG, with his last RPG. Smokes a gunner, and then they come around and they just fucking light him up. Not a lot of blood. And so Milius is right. This is not a gory film. And here she is under this tree.
PG-13.
Yeah, they couldn't have an R film. It wouldn't make the money that it needed to. And like I said before, if they could dress up the puma in this, why did they force the changes for the movie Firebird that Dale Dye wrote, because they absolutely could. It was like 10 years later. They couldn't fucking do it. Go fuck yourselves, Hollywood. Give me that grenade. Or give me your gun. Give me your grenade. And he just can't do it. He can't pull the trigger.
Well, he clearly has feelings for her, but he doesn't let it. He doesn't act on it.
Because it's not the time or place to do that.
And he had that the philosophy when even talking with his brother. There's no feelings. We can't afford having feelings, any kind of feelings.
Yep. And there she says it right there. Pull the pin for me. He puts it on her chest.
Mission. The last thing that Dad said to them was "avenge me," and that's the drive that keeps them going.
Well, like I said, there was a love scene that was in the one of the first cuts of the movie, and they did a test screening of it, and it didn't go over well between him and her, or with Powers Booth fucking a teenager.
I'm so
they really have that?
They cut it out. No, they
cut it out. They cut it out. And I'm like, thank you. I hate that scene.
I'm shocked that I'm like a little shocked that they even filmed it, but what do I know?
And it's apparently something that Powers Booth himself took issue with, because he felt that that relationship was important and it helped show the character's humanity. And I'm like, whatever, dude. That's a weird thing to think. God, I love William Smith. He plays villains better than anybody.
Well, the actress who plays the girl, she found it fantastic. She loved the scene, sleeping with the older guy. And I'm just that stupid. You don't know what's a good movie.
Yeah, I agree, Ariel. This is a solid movie. It's a solid fucking movie. Yes, as a historian and a military guy, I could pick the movie apart for some of its fuck ups. But the fact is, when it comes to the writing of this film, it's a solid movie. Well written, great characters, great character arcs. And the tragedy of the ending is that, he's carrying his dead brother to that bench to the park.
Oh
that's
my God.
referenced early in the story by their dad when he would take him to the swings. He says, I was always hard on you, but I think you now understand why, and it's just so depressing. And so as he's carrying his dead fucking brother like a doll, sits him on the bench and he's talking to him. He says, we're just going to sit here and wait. Daddy will be here. Daddy's coming. He'll be here soon. And I'm like, fuck, man.
Well, he's dying too. Because
I know. He's been shot in the fucking gut.
Yeah. That scene broke me. I was just sitting there crying.
And that's where he says that we're all used up, man. You guys go.
So did you see it in theaters, Gary, or no?
Oh, yeah. I saw this in the theater twice. I went 2 weeks in a row.
What did people think after watching it in theaters?
What's that?
What did they think? Like, were people talking after the movie or back then?
Oh, yeah, man. It's not like after a Star Wars movie, but people are like, God damn, man. Man, could that happen here? But no. I don't know if you guys did that kind of stuff after watching movies and then play them at school. Oh, yeah. We did war games all the time, man. I remember one time we were playing war and I got shot by one of my friends and I fell in the backyard and I apparently unwittingly fell on a patch of crabgrass. Well, I felt that later. Let me tell you.
I don't know, what is it?
What?
I don't know
He
what
doesn't know what
crabgrass is.
crabgrass is. Oh, we.
You don't have that down there?
I don't
So-
know because maybe we
it's
had
a
it with
weed.
another name. I don't know.
I have never heard of that.
It's a weed. Like
It's a weed that grows wild, and some of them have thorns on them.
Yes.
And they have like little prickly things sticking out of the leaves.
So basically, Gary, wouldn't you say almost like poison ivy, but not to that level?
Well,
Almost.
it doesn't have an oil on it that makes you itch. It's got the prickly things on it, and I fell in a
That's
patch
what I
of
was
it.
trying to get to, but I was trying to make
It's
it.
like falling on a tiny cactus.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's
What
also
is-
known as finger grass. I don't know if that tells you something, Martin.
Well, no, I will have to look for a picture of it. Maybe most probably we had it, but just is just a name that I
Martin is not related to crabs at all.
yeah.
I don't know why was that, but whatever. I don't know.
It seems to be a Northern American thing.
I thought I had to put it out there.
I know what you're doing, Ariel. You're trying to confuse me.
Here it is. Oh, excuse me.
God bless you.
It's referred to as Canadian thistle. So you can look it up that way, Canadian thistle. We just call it crabgrass because it pinched.
We don't have that here.
Yeah, this final battle, man, because they're sitting up on top of the train car with what look like small artillery guns. And they're using the armor of these to shoot at people. And then the general comes up behind him and nails Charlie Sheen. Just fucking hits him. You hear him go, oh, and he falls off the train. And then Swayze's character jumps off. And this is that scene when you watch him walk, it looks like he's really uncomfortable in those boots. And he's a little bow-legged. You'll notice he's a little bow-legged because he did a lot of horseback riding, did westerns and shit back in the 50s and 60s.
Yes, Ariel, because he has been in the kid's shoes before.
It's colonel. But we, for some reason, Americans pronounce it colonel. And
yeah, and in Spanish is with an R.
I know in English it's pronounced with an R, but I've always said colonel.
I always say colonel, but
I don't say colonel. I say colonel because
No, I
I'm
said
trying
I-
to remind people there's no R in this, just a
Mm-hmm.
couple of L's. This is great. This is almost a Western right here. Fucking shoot him up. Smith fucking nails him in the gut and he kills the shit out of that fucking Russian. Then he picks his brother up and takes him over to that park bench where they used to play as kids. Oh, this is great too. The Cuban's like, fucking go. This shit's over.
Mm.
He's done with the war.
And people thought that Charlie was still alive because he's talking to him. But no, he's dead. He's dead. He died when he fell off that fucking train.
But the only thing I don't get, why did the one brother go after, like, try to get him? Was it because he didn't realize he was dead, or
No,
no?
he wasn't going to leave him behind.
Won't leave his brother. No, he will not. And he's going to smoke the guy that killed his brother. And it costs him his own life doing it. But I love this scene, the way it's lit. They're backlit, so all the emotions come through the performance. And there's the swing set from their childhood. Well, some people pronounce it colonel. And that's the British. English, really. And it's more accurate to the way it should be pronounced. Yeah, the way I've heard guys say it, it sounds like Kernal, kernel, like a kernel of corn.
Yeah.
That is not the word. So they see that they've somehow, I don't know how, they're looking out there. It's like, we made it. It's like, well, I don't know where the fuck you're at, but I'll take it through the dialogue that they've reached safety. And of course, the narration at the end, she narrates that a monument was put up to these guys for what they did. It's not overly flag wavy, but there's a lot of shit in here that Americans get.
How did it? I know you said it made money, but how did it do overseas?
That is the global box office.
Oh, that is global.
38 million. That's domestic and global all added together. Because I don't know what they made domestically.
Okay.
I'm going to assume a majority of that money was in the U.S. These guys are all pretty much unknowns at this time.
Not Charlie. What Charlie Sheen was it unknown?
That was his debut movie.
Oh,
He
I
hadn't
didn't
done
know
big
that.
shit before that. That was his first big thing. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I always thought it was after. But to me, I mean,
even Powers Booth didn't really take off as a star until he went back to television, and he played, I think, Philip Marlowe.
Really?
I think it was Philip Marlowe. Hold on, let me go look it up. I am looking at his stuff right now. He did Skag, the Guyana Tragedy, where he played Jim Jones. Good fucking movie. Philip Marlowe. Yeah, Philip Marlowe.
Nice.
You know,
and that really, really helped him really build a following. I thought that was really good. Yeah, he played Philip Marlowe, Private Eye.
We haven't done that in a while.
It ran from 1982 through
1986.
He got, I think, 4 seasons usually. Let me see. It says it only had 1 season and it ran that long? How the fuck? Anyway, it was really good. They would later do another series in the 80s with Stacy Keach, where he plays Mike Hammer. But Philip Marlowe is always, in my opinion, a better detective character than Mike Hammer. Mike Hammer was a hard-boiled fucking, women were broads, you know, hard drinking, hard brawling. As far as this film goes, I consider this a solid 9.
I'd say 10. If you take out,
if they had done a couple of other things to this movie, I could easily give it a 10 because it is a damn near perfect movie.
I mean, I get if you're like military, I see 9. But
another dig at my woman.
I don't care. I give it 9 out of 10. What about you, Martin?
I would go with an 8.
Wow, am I the highest one?
Yeah.
I don't consider it a perfect movie. I consider it a
No.
damn near perfect movie. It's got problems, but
Yeah, but okay.
I'm a historian and I'm really into the military stuff. And if you're going to do that stuff, I'm surprised with Alexander Haig involved with the planning of this and that group, that think tank. That it's basically that the organization is very similar to the military college, where they work out scenarios every day and how we turn a situation where we might have a disadvantage to our advantage. And they're military group tanks or think tanks. Hold on a second, because it seems to me that one of them liked this movie. Let me go to the reviews real quick. Thompson, blah, 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 music, blah, 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 critical reaction. Red Dawn received mixed reviews, receiving a Rotten Tomato score of 48 from critics, which I don't give a shit what critics think, really. I got to be honest. I mean, it's nice when they like a movie, but it's what the audience thinks that matters. And so let me go look real quick. Hold on. Red Dawn. Let's look at. There it is. All right, I'm going to Rotten Tomatoes right now. Yeah, a much higher audience score. 48% for critics. And this is why I tell studios, why the fuck do you pay attention to critics? They don't pay to see your movie. You pay them to see your movie. You're letting them see it for free.
In fact, they act against the studio's interest.
Yes. And you've got the audience scores. And when you are able to get an audience
what
score,
is the audience score?
Why are you? I told you it's 65.
Oh,
and
it's low.
When you
that's
have
low.
No, that's still a bucket of popcorn. It's not tipped over.
Barely a pass, Gary.
When you get above 60, I'll tell you what. Having gotten a D once, I was grateful. Now fuck off with that.
No. What I meant to say is it deserves more.
Yeah.
Is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I think that it deserves at least 75 to 80.
It's only got 6.3 on IMDb, and it should be higher.
The 48% with the critics is with 27 reviews, whereas the popcorn meter showing that it was a good film with 65%, that is with over 25,000 reviews.
Well, that's not that
Should
bad.
Be higher. Should be higher.
D is still passing. It's called passing by the skin of your teeth.
It's passing, but not good. It's far from good. It's just passing.
The worst grade I had before I got that D was like a C+. And I was having trouble that year.
So you got the D.
And then I got a D.
Wow,
and my dad, oh my God, my dad. Oh man. I did not hear the end of that shit for a while. You let your uncle and cousin down. You promised them before they died. And I'm like, yeah, I'm dead serious. My dad would browbeat the shit out of me that I'm letting dead family members down.
They care. They're dead.
I remember he took me to a carnival the day that we got our report cards in. And we're in a fucking Ferris wheel, going up in the air. And we got stuck at the top for a minute as they were loading up and unloading cars down below. And I had to sit there with him, just browbeating me. And I wanted to just enjoy this fucking ride. And it was just so fucking miserable. And all because I got a fucking D. And part of the reason I had a D was because I was skipping class. Because I was having problems with a student, and I would rather avoid it than have to deal with him. So I skipped a lot of that class. And I ended up having to go to summer school for 1 year because I fucking hated this kid. And I later would tell people, I said I'd avoid this guy because I knew a fight was going to happen if I was around him, because he was always fucking talking back to me, talking shit to me. And his name was Rodney Fortune. And Rodney finally caught me. One day I was taking a piss. He walked in and cornered me. And he was with a bunch of black guys or guys that I knew. And I think he thought, they're my posse. And he's like getting up in my face like some sort of fucking gangster. And I just stood there and I looked at him, and everything, I didn't give two shits what he was saying to me until he got to my dad. And he made some really fucked up comments about my dad. And that's when I delivered a devastating uppercut. I clacked his fucking teeth. I didn't break him for some reason, but I heard him click when I fucking hit him under the chin. And I knocked his head back and he started to stumble. And then I just stepped and I did a straightforward front kick right into him. And I kicked him right into a stall onto a toilet. And then I walked in there and he started to turn to look at me and he put his hands up and I hit him right between his hands, just nailed him right here. He went back, blood sprayed out, and then I turned and I was in a fighting stance, and all those black kids that were with him, because he was a black kid, and all the other black kids, and I turned and looked at him, I said, are we good? And he go, oh yeah, we don't fucking like him. And I'm like, cool, we're cool then. And I just walked out of there because those guys were really cool with me. I lived in the black community, so they all knew me. And later, one of them told me, he says, yeah, man, you should have kicked his ass saying that shit about your daddy. That's fucked up, man. I'm like, yeah, And then by the end of my high school career, I had kicked his ass once a year. And it was like each year he would reset and forget that I kicked his ass the previous time.
So it's Groundhog Day in real life, but it's not
That's fucking weird. And so like one day we're in study hall and he comes over and sits across from me, and they, because of a newspaper article, they found out that I was on a boxing team. Nobody knew that about me. I didn't talk about my private life at school. Only 2 people or 3 people that knew me was Vic Armstrong, Jim Woodward, and Mike Beatty. They knew what I did. So I'm sitting there and he sits across from me. He says, man, I saw that article about you and those boys you box with, man. You're supposedly like the best one on the team. I'm like, that's what the coach says. Yeah. And he's like, you want to slap box? And I'm like, not really. And he goes, well, I think that I can hit you before you can hit me. Okay, that sounds like a wager. I said, I'll tell you what. I'm going to stand up and put my face forward, and I'm going to give you 3 shots to hit me. And my hands are behind my back. And I put my hands behind my back, and I stood up, leaned forward, and that guy took 3 swings and missed all 3 times because I dodged them. And then he started to take a 4th one. And right when he started to move that hand to take another swing, my right hand came out and I bitch slapped him with the ball of my hand, knocked this snot out of him. He went spinning and went to the ground, straight to the ground. And I said, hey, don't cheat. Everybody fucking thought that was so funny that I just fucking knocked this guy right on his ass. 1 fucking slap. But I'm a fighter. I knew how to use this. This is the part you hit with, not this. This is where it's your arm. That is the extension of your arm. When you hit somebody with that, it knocks the shit out of them. So that was 1 year, and like just constantly, man. I swear to God. I remember one time I caught him in lunch, and he said something. And right when he said something, he went to take a drink of his milk, and I just pushed his milk carton into his face, and milk went everywhere. I'm like, man, you look white now.
Oh man, no. Tell me you didn't say that.
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
You're white now. Look at you. But I was friends with all these black guys. I just, I didn't see racism in high school, except for racism between black guys. And I heard this term, and I'm like, what is this word? I've never heard this before. High yellow. And I finally went to one of my black friends. I'm like, why are they calling Chester that? My buddy Chester Pratt, who I'm still friends with. So why are they calling that? He says, because he's got a lot of white in him. I'm like, but why yellow? I don't understand that. Some of the epithets are just weird, dude. Never heard one black guy use the Nigga word, not once. And I was around these guys all the time. If they use that word, they use the hard R version. And I did hear that. And it's usually out of anger. It was funny growing up in a black community. Like I ate 3 different versions of chitlins. There's a 4th one. I would not eat that. Just straight boiled. No, thank you. That's gross. It's gray. Nothing is edible that's gray, in my opinion. That's just gross. But anyway, Red Dawn, great fucking movie. John Milius, one of my heroes. I'm so grateful we still have him right now, but since he had the stroke, he's stayed away from the public. His daughter is very outspoken.
Yes, she is. And a very intelligent woman.
I've interacted with her a couple of times. I really like her.
How old is she now?
70s, I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up. Red Milius. All right. By the way, Homefront would be a game I wouldn't mind playing again. The campaign.
Yeah, I want to get it at some point. I'll get it at some point.
Oh, do you? If you can grab the Steam version, it has better graphics.
I don't care graphic wise, Martin.
I do.
I have to come back to this. He's 81 this year. I fucking love that guy. What a writer. And, he volunteered for the military, but they wouldn't take him because he's 4F.
He has asthma.
I have asthma and I got in.
Yeah, because you lied.
Because I lied. Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
They asked me, have you been diagnosed with asthma? And I said, not to my knowledge, because I was a baby. I have no memory of that. Being diagnosed with asthma as a baby. I have no memory of that. So it's not really a lie. That's how I fooled myself into answering it, telling myself to say
So
that.
what did they say when you said that?
Okay. And they moved to the next question.
Okay. Wow.
That's it. They just ask you a series of questions that you have to answer yes or no, or, and I answered no, not to my knowledge. And so there were no asthma. I, of course, had asthma. And I was terrified. Like, if I have an asthma attack, what am I going to do? No, they never did. I actually did fine in the military with athletics. I didn't really have much of a problem there in Missouri or in San Antonio for some reason. But boy, when I moved to California, I started having problems with asthma. And I found out that because the area where we lived in Northern California is called a bowl, and it's a valley. And it was Dr. Wong and Dr. Wong. It was a husband and wife team. They had their own allergy clinic. Wong and Wong. Two wrongs don't make a white.
Oh my God.
And so I just I love Dr.
This is too
the
painful,
wife.
Gary.
The wife is the one who is treating me. And she said, "You have allergies." I said, "No, not that I'm aware of." She goes, "Oh no, I'm telling you, you have allergies." And I'm like, "To what?" And she's like, "You moved to this area and this is the bowl, and it has so much plant life here. And if you're not allergic, you're going to become allergic."
Okay.
And she wasn't fucking kidding, man. I had so much trouble in Northern California, especially up there near Sacramento and Davis. And she was giving me stuff back then that later would be over the counter, but back then it was prescription, and it's how I got through the day. And of course, she prescribed me my first Proventil, because I always lived on Primatene Mist over the counter medication for my asthma, which is terrible. They offered no questions regarding backdoors.
Give the woman her video.
You go right ahead.
No, that was not good enough, Ariel. I know you.
No.
That's strong coming from you, Wade. You're the master of lame creatures. You just put backdoor in the chat.
Oh my
By
God.
the way, John Milius Gambit, you were correct. He was a big surfer. And do you know who his best friend was that surfed with him?
Oh. In honor of Captain Die and the scene that wasn't in the slideshow, we have this one.
Dragon!
Do you know who was John Milius' best friend and surfing buddy?
Nope.
Nobody?
Nope.
Nobody in the
No.
chat?
Oh.
Don't look it up. Don't cheat. Just if you know, pop it into the chat. I will do the music. Da, na, 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 na. Na, 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 ba, ba, da, da, na, 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 na. Bam, ba-dum, bam, 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 boom, boom. All right, that's it. Nobody guessed? All right, it's Jerry Lopez. Does anybody know who Jerry Lopez is? You should if you're a fan.
Yes.
No
Movie.
clue.
Subotai.
He played Subotai.
And
That
that is
is
why he got
Milius'
the
best
job.
friend. Yep,
I don't know
because
that
they were
either.
surfing buddies. And that's why he didn't come back, because Milius didn't work on the second film. He had no interest in being in the movie, reprising the role. But Jerry Lopez still owns a surf shop in Maui, I do believe. The surfer, yes, Jerry Vasquez. You need to answer quicker, mister.
It took him some time to look it up.
Oh. He had to go to IMDb. Got you.
I mean, he already lives there, so. But he had to find the right
All right.
page.
So, but
Sorry,
that's it.
David.
We're going to get out of here. That was a fun show. I fucking love this movie. It's not a perfect film, but it's still a damn good movie. Solid. And just remember, wouldn't it be nice to have Martin with hair?
No.
Look at his
And,
face.
hey, Martin,
His
who is
face
that in
tells
the
you,
background?
Fuck you.
Is
I
that
don't know.
a portrait of you in a portrait
No.
of you?
No, this is all AI generated. Oh man.
Hey, nice camera, by the way, Martin. Oh wait,
That's-
it wouldn't
that's-
print well.
That's AI generated.
No,
It is.
Gary, did you? I'm talking about the camera in the background.
Oh. Yeah, put it on.
It's a joke.
Put it up.
The background?
Bring the picture on.
See the little camera?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a stereo.
Oh, that's not. That's a camera.
Yeah, that's a tabletop stereo
No,
radio. It's got the little tuning
It's
thing
too
up on
blurry
top,
to tell.
and that's a speaker.
all right. I
Looks like
still
a
think
woofer.
It looks like a camera, like one of those like portable.
Well, yeah, it looks like one of those handhelds, but it's not. It's big. That's about like this big.
Okay, but
It's
you get my
some
point.
shit made up by an AI. We don't
Yes,
know what it
AI
is.
stereo system. And by the
Oh,
way,
man.
who
Where-
paints your house? I mean,
where
eggshell.
did
Come
that
on,
young
man.
lad
Eggshell.
went?
Eggshell. That's so gauche.
Hey Gary, I
Mhm.
need to have you on to talk movies some point when it works out.
Pick a good night when I'm available. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm not. That's the problem. I'm like so tied up all the time. By the way, here's a nice little backdoor video.
Bitches, I got a crossbow. Back door is sealed. Take them up.
There you go.
There you go, Ariel.
Wait, that's not Red Dawn.
Could have been.
Meh.
Because I'm telling you, that's one of my beefs with the movie is they absolutely would have had special forces embedded with them after a few months because they would have been heard about and the military would have reached out to them. And it's bullshit that they don't have that happen. So it's my one major beef with the story. You want this to be believable. I'm going to tell you something. Every insurgency out there during World War II had direct lines to Allied forces for communication, especially if they're going to try to run an operation. They would get in contact with the partisans, whatever you want to call them, and go, hey, man, we're going to be running a mission in your area. Can you give us a hand and get some of these things set up for us? Because we're going to need these things there when we get there. All the time, man. All the time. So leaving that out of the film and making the one military guy a fucking pilot. I'm like, yeah, that's the last person I'd want to fucking go into combat with. Unless we're in a fighter. Then I wouldn't mind being with him. But then I'm pointless. Like I'm just sitting in the back seat there. Probably going to take a grenade later, like the Russian dude did. But no, they would have embedded with these guys and would have absolutely had a line of communication with them. They would have been giving gear too. They wouldn't just have to steal their shit. The U.S. forces would absolutely supply them stuff to make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing. That's my opinion on that. And Martin, did you like the film?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you didn't like it.
I gave it an 8.
All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. Let me get in a private chat here. Snorty was first in the house. Thanks a lot, Snorty. Andy Morrow was number 2. Number 2, who does number 2 work for? Anyway, Ariel Ballette, Slasher Fred, Awesome One, Emmanuel was here. Christian Delorme, which Emmanuel is French, and Christian Delorme is faux French.
Oh my God.
He's Canadian French. It's different. Anyway, Das Wolfen dropped in, John. Connie Cleary, Sandra Hammerschlag, Gambit, Penny, and Penny had to go. It's always sad when she leaves. Wade, who's also on here with us right now.
Hi.
Classic Comics. And that's it, guys. It was good to see all y'all. It was a small show. I'm surprised, actually, we didn't have more people watching because I thought this more beloved film than it is, apparently. So, but we'll see. What happens is that Military Monday tends to be one of the most watched shows we do over time. Like we had one show we did that quickly went to about 1,000. And I think that was Play Dirty with Michael Caine.
Oh, Caine always gives us
good fucking movie. So, and John Wayne, we did the Flying Leathernecks, and boy, that skyrocketed. It's thousands of views in a very short period of time. And I like that. I like that people get some enjoyment out of watching these. And I think the average watch time for our videos is anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. That means for 30 to 45 minutes, they didn't leave the show. So I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. I like that. You guys in the next movie, you bet, Gambit. We're going to get out of here, guys. Everybody, happy Monday. I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you again on Wednesday. The Chief will be here tomorrow doing what? I don't remember. I saw his email.
7.
Yeah, what's in the box? We all want to know.
9.
Inquiring minds want to know.
9.
So, what?
I was trying to. Never mind. You were saying 7, so I was just spitting out a random number.
Oh, you're random. Okay, gotcha. 9. I thought you were saying no in German.
That would be animal.
I was like, oh, why did he say no in German? That was weird. Oh, no, you meant the number 9. Okay, I got you. Hey, anybody who's a fan of the Beatles, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. We will be back Wednesday with Attack the Block. That'll be fun.
Y'all come back.
You guys in?